on the topic ways to overcome the challenges faced during water and food analysis. So good afternoon, good evening. Everyone depends upon which part of the world our attendees are from. Myself, Harisri Nambiar, sales manager from M4. I have been associated with M4 for the last 11 years. I thank you all for joining this webinar. We hope this webinar will be knowledgeable for you to address some of the challenges you might have faced during water and food analysis. Before proceeding, I would like to introduce M4. M4 Dealers is part of Centina Group. Having head office in Dubai, Centina Group work directly and through channel partners in many countries across the world, having direct offices in UAE, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Kuwait, UK, India, and Singapore. We also have a separate office in Qatar known as Petro M4. As name suggests, dealers, M4 focuses on diagnostic, life, and analytical science field. M4 is present in this industry since year 2002, and over last 18 years, we have been successfully selling and supporting life and analytical products, and we have more than 1,000 installations in the region. M4 has served clients in environmental, food and water, academics, pharmaceutical, petrochemical, packaging industry, chemical, hospital, and many more industry segments in these years. We represent some of the well-known brands in analytical, life science, and diagnostic field like Scalar, Cyex, Rudolph Research, Metrom, Buki, Amitech, Appendef, Borosil, and many more. We proudly represent one of the industry well-known names, Scalar, as one of our major principals. Scalar is a Dutch instrument manufacturer which is producer of analyzers for the laboratory and process industry with a worldwide sales, support, and distribution network. We have presence in most of the laboratory with our instrument, and Scalar products and automation includes various instruments for the analysis of food, water, soil, tobacco, fertilizer, etc. We are helping our clients in understanding their pain areas in food and water testing and helping them to provide customized solution from Scalar product line, addressing to their challenges and make their life easy and better. Today, we have invited Mr. Sai Ganesh, Regional Manager of Scalar, as our main speaker. Sai, I would hand over the talk to you. You are a better person to introduce yourself, Scalar, and take us through through today's topic. Before that, I request all the attendees to post questions in Q&A section. By end of the presentation, all the questions will be addressed. Over to you, Sai.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, M4, Harishree, and the team for organizing this webinar. So today we will be discussing about the different challenges that we face during the analysis of water and food, and some solutions that we could offer to overcome these challenges. Let's first look at what are the focus area of any laboratory, be it industrial, the commercial labs, whichever laboratory that we are into. Some of the key things that the laboratory focuses on, the first thing is the staff, the people who are operating the system has to be well trained, which is a key criteria for a quality assurance department. And the QC also takes care of the supervision of the new staff whoever is coming into the company, so that they are trained, well trained on the process of handling the system and understanding the process of how the company operates. The second important focus area for the laboratories are how do you use these specialized equipments that are already there. For example, your lab might have complex instruments like gas chromatograph, liquid chromatograph, ICP-MS system, auto analyzers, TOC systems, and different other systems. So it's very important for the quality assurance department to ensure that the system is well calibrated. The quality control department ensures what limits can they analyze using these systems. So these are all some of the key areas which every laboratory focuses on. The other focus area is how do these laboratories collect samples. If it's an industrial laboratory, it's very easy for them because they have to go around within their industry and collect the samples. If it's a commercial lab, how do they collect the samples? So that is also some of the key important areas which the lab looks into, because sample collection is a key area. If you don't collect the sample well, you will not be able to get the results correctly. So it is also, so these laboratories focus on the sample collections as well. One of the key challenges, key things, very, very important thing for these laboratories is how to maintain the data. Because there are, nowadays you see a lot of equipments which are connected to the computers where you can store the data in an electronic medium. Whereas there are a couple of equipments which are, for which still many laboratories use manual entry. So there is always a possibility of error that's happening. So that's why we have both the QA and the QC department taking care of these data. And it's been verified multiple times so that the data is captured well. The data is very important because it can also be challenged by anyone at any given point of time. So maintaining of data is very, very crucial for the laboratories. Of course, one of the main area of concern is, or main area is sample analysis. The sample analysis which you do in the lab has to be aggregated by any of the agencies. You have to follow a specific method, either it's ISO or ASTM or any notified methodology. And these also have to be confirmed by the QC department with the calibration standard in the laboratory ranks. So these are all some of the key areas where each and every laboratory focuses on for doing their analysis. What are the critical analysis that these laboratories look into? There are many, but I have captured some of it which are predominant. Many of the labs might be doing every bit of it. Some might specialize in some of the applications. But whatever I have listed down on the physical and the chemical are something which are very, very basic. And all the laboratories generally do these kind of analysis. I'm sure a lot of you are also analyzing many of these things in your lab. For example, nutrients like nitrogen, cyanide, phenol, ammonia, are some of the key nutrients that you need to analyze in your water samples on a daily basis. No matter what kind of sample it is, it can be a drinking water or a wastewater or a sour water, but you have to measure all these nutrients. Microalgae growth is something that many of the laboratories do as well. But some of the basic parameters like pH, EC, turbidity, alkalinity, again, are basic parameters which still, for all the samples that come into the lab, have to be tested. Of course, salinity and pesticides is again a big application for in both water and food, which many of the laboratories they do. Having looked at the focus for the laboratory and the critical analysis that we do, we'll probably look into what are the challenges that we face as as a laboratory. What are the different challenges that you face on a day-to-day basis? I've classified this into about 5 different topics. One is the technical. That means where the lab exactly requires the specialized instruments, equipments, like as I earlier mentioned, the GCs, autoanalyzers, TOCs, ICP-MS kind of systems. And especially water labs, one of the major challenges that they face is space. Because for wet chemistry analysis, you need a large space, especially if you're going to have at least 50 to 60 samples. If you have to analyze on a daily basis, you need a big footprint or a big lab space to analyze all these parameters. So you need to have a place to keep your glasswares. You need to have a special washing place to wash all your glasswares. And then you have your own burettes, pipettes, and other stuff. And also your UV spectrophotometers, so which kind of occupies a lot of space in your lab. So that is one of the biggest challenge which all the laboratories majorly face. The second is people. To get a technically trained people nowadays is very, very tough, because the youngsters, the young generation people who come into the lab, they don't want to do any monotonous job. They would like to straight away handle high-end equipments. And then, so to do simple analysis like measuring of pH, conductivity, or simple calorimetric applications, which is very, very essential for water labs, they don't like to do it. So getting a well-trained human resource is very challenging. Also, you have people keep moving jobs. nowadays. They keep jumping jobs, especially the youngsters. So again, you have new people coming in, and then you train. So it takes a lot of time if you don't have a set in process in place. So one of the major challenges for any laboratories is again finding good technically trained people. The third aspect which I would like to cover here is about the health hazards. Because we are talking about wet chemistry application, lab application, where you have to be in the lab doing a lot of analysis, you're also exposed to a lot of toxic chemicals, toxic fumes that comes out. Especially, for example, if you are a wastewater managing company or commercial labs analyzing a lot of wastewater, and you are analyzing cyanide as a parameter or phenol as a parameter, you are exposed to toxic chemicals. You are forced to handle cyanide in your hand, which is very, very toxic. And if you're doing any Kjeldahl process, then you are also exposed to toxic chemicals like potassium dichromate or sulfuric acid. So you have to inhale those fumes. So the health hazard of the people especially working in the lab, has to be taken care of by the company. So it's again a big challenge for the laboratories. The other major challenge which these labs face is the risk of disposing of these chemicals. Okay, after all the analysis has been done, how do we dispose of these chemicals? Because you take, say, a 10 ml of sample or 50 ml of sample, and then you do your calorimetric analysis. At the end of it, you generate at least close to 1 liter or 1 liter per sample of waste, which has to be discarded. So again, it's a big challenge for the laboratories also, how to discard these chemicals. So that's also a major challenge which these people face. Capacity. I already discussed about the lab space. So the wet chemistry, especially the wet chemistry part of it, takes a huge amount of lab space. We also have other complicated equipments like ICP-MS require a separate room for you to do the analysis, or other equipments require a separate room for doing the analysis. So lab space is something which is very critical. So since laboratories don't have lab space, even if they have a capacity, or if they, for example, if they have a manpower of doing multiple samples, for example, 100 samples per day, but because of lack of sophisticated systems, they are forced to take less number of samples for analysis, especially the commercial labs, where they can handle 100 samples, they probably take only 50 samples because there is no process in place. There is no, and also you have a stringent turnaround time. I mean, after getting the sample in the morning, probably you have a turnaround of a couple of hours by which you should be able to give back the results, which puts a lot of pressure on the users who are using it. So they are forced to do the analysis faster, manually. So there is always, manual error also can happen. So these are, again, this is a kind of a big challenge for the laboratories to face. The question that we probably ask ourselves is, can technology really help mitigate these challenges? And also, most important is, can the technology help improve the efficiency of the lab? Let's look at what technology can bring to these kind of labs. How can technology help? The first and foremost is, when you don't have a technology, basically brings in process in place. So even if you don't have people, even especially during this kind of pandemic situation where people cannot visit labs on a regular basis, but still if you have a system in place, a process in place, it is easy for continuing the work. So that way technology really helps. I also talked about the importance of data in my earlier slide. So nowadays, I'm sure everyone is aware that data plays everything. And if you have data, you can do anything with the data. Especially commercial labs, if you have data of your particular customer for over a period of time, you can also suggest your customer how their samples are behaving and what kind of modifications that they have to make. If for industrial laboratories, for refineries especially, if you collect your data and if you can study your data for a long period of time, and then you can probably suggest to your factory people how their boiler condition is, at what time do they require to have a maintenance of the boiler and things like that based on the study you have. So for all this to do, what is important is to have data. And if you're going to collect your data manually and you don't have a proper way of recording the data electronically, then again, we have a lot of challenge. That way, technology can really help in collection of data. Automation of analysis. This is basically the process that you have to have in your lab to continue doing your analysis in the lab, especially for simple applications like the wet chemistry applications where you generally do with the manual spectrophotometer and then note down your data. If you have complete an automation in place, then it can really help you to do a lot of, it basically improves the efficiency of the lab and maximize the potential of your people. Digitalization and analysis of data is something that I already had discussed on the importance of data and how it needs to be there. So with technology, basically, if you have a technology in place in your lab, it actually benefits in the long run and then helps in improving your efficiency of the performance of the lab. How automation basically helps. Now let's look at something on this. With increasing demand, a lot of people, a lot of laboratories are going in for automation of a lot of their processes, especially be it sample collection or sample preparation or analysis part. So everywhere they would like to have automation. So what are some of the benefits of automation? When you have automation in your lab, it basically helps you to increase your throughput of your sample because the process is set, the systems are available, so you can, where you're doing say 10 samples per hour, with automation probably you can do 20 to 25 samples per hour. Especially the automation minimizes the wastage. Wastage can be on the chemicals front, which is one of the major challenge, and also can be time. So by automation, you also reduce the time of analysis, also improve the efficiency of people. When you have more labs, it also kind of helps in centralizing the data, centralizing the procedures for the different laboratories. So you can also reduce the inter-laboratory variations. And with again system in place, an automation system in place, you can standardize the way of operation. As I said, when you have a system in place, you don't depend too much on the people. So you have systems available for doing the analysis. You only need some operators to operate the system, and so there is no variation as well. So for example, in an industrial laboratory, a refinery, you'll have batches, different batches of samples coming in. Probably you're running in a couple of shifts, maybe 2 shifts or 3 shifts. So when you have a system in place, the variations on the results are completely minimized by having a process in place. So that's a benefit of, again, an automation. Also, you increase your accuracy and precision of analysis of results. Yeah. Coming to the process, basically any laboratory has 3 processes. Mainly, the major is analysis part, but you have the sample preparation part and the data handling part. Okay. So all these 3 things put together make a complete process for a laboratory. And we will now look into probably how automation can really help in your lab. Now, having discussed so far about the focus area of the laboratory, the critical analysis that we do in the laboratory, and majorly the challenges that we face in the laboratory, Scalar offers some laboratory automation in the sample preparation space, the analysis space, and how we handle the data. So I would like to now talk a little bit about the technology part of it, how we can help customers like you to automate the procedures in the lab. A brief introduction about Scalar. It was established in 1965 in a place called Breda in Netherlands. So we have we are present around the world in 80 countries and more than 80 countries. And MFAR is our authorized partners for UAE, Qatar, and Bahrain kind of regions. Scalar Netherlands, we have a beautiful application and training laboratory where we regularly train our customers on the different applications, and also our partners whenever there is a new system that has been launched. We also have international service desk for the benefit of the customer, which is open 24/7, and customers can reach out to this international service desk for their queries. If they have any application problem or any service issues, they can always contact our service desk for support. Of course, our local partners will be there for you to guide, but we also have an international service desk to take care of it. We also have a warehouse on logistics. Complete spares and everything is available here. And all the equipments are manufactured in Breda and then quality tested and shipped out from Breda. Typical customers who use our systems are commercial labs, environmental labs, agricultural labs, and then we cater to especially markets like water, soil, plant, fertilizer. These are some of the customers who widely use our automation solutions. Some of our happy customers in your region, as you could see, we have Element who are using our system for quite a long time, SGS Enoch, Geochem. So all the major companies, well-known brands are users of our scalar analyzers. So these are some of the applications that we kind of automate. When it comes to water, we can automate more than 300 applications. We just have mentioned few of them here. The common ones, so like ammonia, cyanide, nitrate, nitrite, phenols, phosphates, silicates, sulfates. We also have specific analysis of fertilizer kind of applications, soil plant kind of applications as well. Just a little bit going into what are the different solutions Scalar offers. This is our flagship model, the SAN Plus, which is the continuous flow analyzer, or we call it as a segmented flow analyzer as well. So the major principle by which the system operates is based on calorimetric principle. So if I have to take you back to your lab, so in your lab currently for the wet chemistry analysis for parameters like cyanide and phenol or ammonia, chlorides, phosphates, you basically use a spectrophotometer to do the analysis. So you have your samples coming in, say you take 50 ml of your sample, add different reagents, do heating, or you mix those samples, heat the samples for the color to happen, add your color reagent. And once the color gets developed, you put it in a cuvette, go to a UV spectrophotometer, and then you measure the absorbance and you note down the reading. So this is the manual process that has been followed in the lab, in most of the labs currently for wet chemistry applications. So this particular system can completely automate the entire manual process. Right from the sample pickup, I will also discuss about the technology of it. The system also can help in doing pre-dilution of the sample. So if you have a sample which is more than your range, for example, if you're looking at a range from 10 ppb to 50 ppm, and 50 ppm being your maximum, and you know your samples that are coming in are more than 50 ppm, if you let the system know that this particular sample has to be diluted, so the auto sampler will automatically dilute that particular sample. For unknown samples, for example, commercial labs where they get samples from different industries, if they don't know the range of the sample, the auto sampler also can help them by doing a post dilution of the sample. For any system, calibration is very important, and for calibration, standards are very, very important. So this auto sampler also can prepare a working standard by itself. So you just have to mention what is the range in which you would like to have the standards prepared. For example, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 ppm. Load it onto software. The auto sampler will automatically prepare the calibration standards, plot the calibration graph, and keep the system ready for your regular sample analysis. So auto calibration also is possible. So this system can do all the complex chemistry manipulations like digestion, distillation, heating, mixing, dialysis. So all these applications are quite possible using the system. For example, here you see in this picture, we have a distillation unit for the cyanide or phenol analysis. So I also would like to discuss about how the system works. I have a small video which I would like to present, which basically talks about how the SAN Plus system works. I hope you can see the screen now. So now you see the needle gets picked up, it picks up the sample and then goes back for rinsing. So after each sample is picked up, it goes for rinsing so that there is no cross-contamination between the sample. So there is a continuous pickup of sample and it's been rinsed. And we have all the reagents here, which is also pumped in using a peristaltic pump. And then we have air, which is pumped inside. We have these reagents, whichever is required for that particular chemistry, pumping in, and the samples also come in. So we have coils, which basically mixes all these three things together, the air, the reagent, the sample. And then we have the color development happening. We have a deductor, which deducts the absorbance, and then you get your peak. So here, this coil that you see is basically where the chemistry manipulations happen. It can be a simple mixing. It can be also heating. For example, if you take ammonia, after mixing of your chemicals, the solution needs to be heated at 37 degrees for the final reaction to happen and the color development to happen. So we have an inbuilt heater inside the system itself, which will heat the sample mixture to 37 degrees so that the color gets completely color development completely happens, and then it goes for the measurement. What is the use of this air injection? Because it's a continuous flow of sample, we basically try to split the sample and the reagent portion into smaller aliquots so that the reaction can happen faster and then it can get complete. So what is the throughput of these kind of instruments? For simple applications like ammonia, phosphate, silicate, which is a very crucial parameter for boiler application, nitrate, nitrite, these kind of simple analysis, we can measure 30 to 35 samples per hour, which translates to approximately about 150 tests per hour. So that's the throughput of these kind of instruments. If you're analyzing phenol or cyanide kind of application, then we talk about, we can do about 20 to 25 samples per hour. Manually, if you're doing this analysis, maybe cyanide, we can hardly do about 10 samples in a day because of the distillation and the digestion process that is involved. Unless you have a big digester and things like that for the sample preparation part. But here, in this type of analyzer, all this chemistry manipulation will be done in line in the system itself. So you don't require any separate distillation unit or digestion unit separately outside the system. What you require is just the system and the reagents that are required for this chemistry to happen. I will take questions in case you have anything at the end of this session. So what are the key benefits of the system? Basically, as I said, we can do all the complex chemistry manipulations like digestion, distillation, extraction. If you're talking about MBAS, anionic surfactants, where there is an extraction procedure that needs to be done, it will also be done in line in the system. For colored samples, dirty samples, we also have the inline filtration by way of dialysis, which can filter the sample in line in the system. This is, if you're doing these kind of analysis manually, sensitivity again is a big issue because there is always possibility of manual error happening. But with automation and system in place, you are able to achieve a sub ppb level of sensitivity, and we can also extend up to ppm range level. So we can go to low levels as well. For example, cyanide, phenol can be measured at 1 ppb. Silica in boiler application, specifically for boiler kind of applications, we can measure at 1 ppb. Nitrate, nitrites, 1 ppb. The ability of doing low ppb to high ppm range samples. Because it's been automated completely, there is no manual intervention, so there is a guarantee of accuracy and precision of the results. We can also cross-check the samples during the analysis by basing your known standards, your calibration standard as unknown, and then you can get the results as well. We can automate simultaneously up to 16 parameters together, and then of course we can measure more than 100 chemistries. As I said, these kind of systems are really high throughput, and we will be able to more than 30 to 35 samples in 1 hour simultaneously. We move on to the next product line, which is a discrete analyzer, which is very similar to the one which this also is based on calorimetric principle. These instruments are specifically designed for environmental labs, commercial labs, where they have more number of samples and more number of parameters to be done, especially simple parameters like nitrate, nitrite, phosphates, chlorides, sulfates, ammonia, where there is no requirement of any digestion or distillation is required, just heating and mixing, but you have more number of samples and multi-parameters have to be analyzed. So this kind of system really works well. This also works on calorimetric principle. So we have reagents which you can load it in this place. These reagents, the beauty of these both the systems are you don't have to depend on scalar for reagents. You can use the same chemicals that are available in your lab to make the reagents and do this analysis. So there is no dependency on us on scalar for the reagent preparation. So you load your samples and your reagents here. So all the simple heating and mixing happens in the system. So we have filters specifically for the chemistries happening is there, which helps in detecting the absorbance of these different simple chemistries. This system also is capable of doing pre-dilution and post-dilution. It can also prepare working standards, and auto-calibration is possible in the system as well. What are the typical advantage, especially for commercial labs when they have this kind of systems? These are disposable cuvettes, so there is no cross-contamination of samples happening. And then the system also comes with one of the challenges which I discussed earlier was how to minimize the waste and how to discard the waste. So in this system, we have a provision by which you can actually segregate the cuvettes to toxic and non-toxic. For example, if you're analyzing any chemicals using mercury, or you're analyzing, say, free cyanides, you can segregate those into a separate bin, toxic bin. For normal applications like ammonia, nitrate, nitrite, which are less toxic, you can also segregate that into a separate bin, and then the user you can remove it and then discard it suitably. So you can, how do you in the software you can select which one has to go to which bin. I mean, toxic, this particular sample has to go to the toxic waste, and this particular cuvette has to go to the non-toxic waste. So you can basically define it in the method itself. So how this operates? So we have a cuvette, we have a sample, we mix reagent 1, we mix reagent 2, then we do the mixing, we add reagent 1, reagent 2, mix it, then we measure, and then we add reagent 3, then mix it. And then once the reaction gets completed, we have the spectrophotometer to measure the absorbance. So here you have, it's basically for when you have, say, 100 samples and you want to measure, say, A, B, C, D, E kind of parameters. So for all the 100 samples, you can measure A, and then for the next set of 100 samples, you measure the B. So that way you measure all the analysis. These systems are again high throughput systems. You'll be able to have at least 150 to 160 tests per hour can be analyzed. Moving on to our next range of products, which is the robotic analyzers. So this range is made, this kind of systems are mainly for the physical parameter. So far what we have seen are majorly related to the chemical analysis, the chemistry, the nutrient part of it. Now we will look at something to the parameters. When I say physical parameters, it's pH, conductivity, alkalinity, BOD, COD type of application. So as you could see here, we have systems for BOD automation, and then kit applications, like if you're doing COD using kit-based methods, we have automation for kit. And we have multi-parameter water quality parameter, like in one single system, you'll be able to analyze different parameters. This system, this multi-water quality parameters, it's very interesting because currently in labs like yours, what you will do is you'll be measuring pH. So you have 30 samples per batch, and you'll be measuring pH separately, EC separately, and then alkalinity measurement separately, turbidity measurement separately, color measurement separately. And for some samples, you may probably have to do a filtration. So every process is done individually and separately. And especially logging of data, you have to, for each and every analysis separately, you have to log the data. For pH, you have to note down 400 samples. For EC, you have to note down 400 samples. Like that, you have to do for alkalinity and the other parameters as well. Whereas with this robotic application, everything falls under one umbrella. So we basically use different pH meters. It can be either from Mettler or thermo, whichever you are using in your lab currently. You can also use the titrators for alkalinity measurement, whatever you are using in your lab currently. Like it can be either from again Metro, Mettler, or any other make. We can also give you. We also have turbidity meter. Again, if you're using any of the turbidity meters in your lab, the same thing can be used. So you basically, all these meters are connected to our software. So as a user, you just have to load your water samples in the robotic system. So the samples will be picked up, and from one sample, you just have to load the data only once in the software, and then you have the measurement of all the analysis happening in sequentially, but in a single run. So once, if you take sample one, you'll have the data of pH, conductivity, alkalinity. If you want to filter the samples, you can also filter the sample, color measurement, fluid rate measurement. So all these are possible under one umbrella. So you don't have the user, whoever is using the system, need not do the same process again and again like he's doing manually. You just have to do everything once, and then you have the data of all the analysis in a single shot. The same thing with BOD application. If we're talking about BOD, we have a simple BOD automation is also possible, where measurement of day 1 sample, then day 5 sample, or day 3 sample, depending upon what kind of regulations you're following. And some customers, they also do adjustment of pH or pH setting, or they also do that. So we can also automate that particular application. COD, as I said, you can use the kit-based method or the potassium dichromate, sulfuric acid. So both are possible in our system. Just to summarize on the different automated applications that we can do. When it comes to water or wastewater, we can do BOD, COD, pH, color, conductivity, titrations, kit applications, sample preparations for ICP-MS kind of, those sample preparation also we can do. And especially industrial customers are more focused towards BOD and COD, so we can also completely automate. So when you have more than say 50, 60 samples and you want to do say duplicate or duplicate, then the load of samples are too high. So we use these kind of systems for completely automating those procedures. Yeah. So we also talk about our the Primax TOC analyzer for both for analyzing solid and liquid samples. So this system is used for measuring your carbon and nitrogen in both solid as well as liquid samples. So it can be food, feed, milk, soil, it can be waste and sludges. Nowadays, if you see regulations, especially European regulations, are coming up with something like residual organic carbon or total elementary carbon, which are very, very crucial, especially when you have solid sludges and waste which is being discarded. So they would like to study what kind of carbons that are present. Is it only organic or inorganic carbon, or there is more to it? So this system really helps customers to basically study the different speciation of carbon. Like you can do total carbon, inorganic carbon, organic carbon, and elemental carbon system for both solid and liquid samples. You can also use the same system for measuring the total nitrogen in a liquid as well as solid samples. Also, we talk about protein application, especially commercial testing labs who have multiple samples, like water samples coming in, wastewater samples coming in, solid sludges coming in, as well as they have food samples coming in. So this system is a versatile system for doing all your applications for the measurement of carbon and nitrogen. So we have developed a lot of application nodes, especially on the feed, animal feed, food, milk, and soil kind of applications, which can be done using this system. This is our which is again TOC-NT analyzer, specifically for water samples. So if you are looking at low-level detection of in water, say for example drinking water or formal water, we use, this is the system that is being used for doing the analysis of the total organic carbon and total nitrogen. One of the key advantage of TOC and TN analyzer is all the labs, most of the labs which I have found in Europe and as well as in Middle East, doing this Kjeldahl process, Kjeldahl nitrogen process, TKN analysis, using a Kjeldahl nitrogen, and then they have to do digestion of the sample for 2 hours, and then they take out the sample and then do the analysis. Here, based on our experience with the calorimetry principle, we have developed a module, which is again an approved method for nitrate, which sits inside the system. And within 5 minutes time, you'll be able to get your total Kjeldahl nitrogen value as well within the system. There is no requirement of any toxic reagents that are required to do the analysis. So it is like, it's a simple measurement like TOC and TN, and then you'll be able to get your TKN analysis in less than 5 minutes time, which by traditional methods generally take about 2 hours. One question that probably would definitely come in your mind is, okay, all this are okay. What are the methods that we follow? Because we talk about automation, so probably you might be thinking that, we probably develop our own and then trying to do the automation. Actually, what we do is we take the methods from the approved methods from EPA, ASTM, or ISO, depending on what regulations you follow. So those are taken, and then we have done the complete automation of those procedures. You can see in ISO or ASTM, some of the methods are already with the continuous flow method or segmented flow analysis method. So whatever methods you follow in your lab, it's the same method that we do, depending on whatever regulations that you have. If there are customers who have some specific requirement, wherein they have their own method and then they would like to have an automation. So for specific cases, specific requirements of customers, we have also developed the user methods. I mean, we collect your method and then we try to develop a module for you if it is feasible, and then we come and do the installation for those methods. So you don't have to worry about whether we are following any approved norms. Yeah, we do. We only follow the approved methods. We take those methods and then do the automation. In the beginning of the presentation, we talked about some of the challenges, and then we were thinking if technology can really give us a solution towards to those challenges. So I just wanted to put things together. So the typical challenges that we face, the labs face, are basically requirement of specialized equipment and then space, especially when it comes to wet chemistry analysis. So the solution from Scalar is, especially for wet chemistry analysis and simple and complex parameters, we provide much smaller footprint instruments which can sit in your lab, can save a lot of space which you currently use for your glasswares and your digestion blocks and distillation blocks and things like that. So the space part of it, definitely we have taken care, and that is being addressed by our SAT+ or the Blue Vision system that we discussed earlier. We also talked about the human resource, where they have to do monotonous job, or there is no, because of lack of people, they keep leaving the organization, and then so you have to train the new people. So now with automation possibility, everything, you have a process in place. So if you have to do, say, ammonia, nitrate kind of analysis, you have a system which is in place. Again, you can do the analysis. So what an operator has to do is come, load the samples, prepare the reagents, and keep, and then the instrument will do the analysis for you and give you the results. So there is no requirement of us trained people to do the analysis and then report the data. So this way, if you have say 10 people and some of them have not turned out for the office due to various situations, you can also maximize their potential. You can also, one user can handle probably multiple systems and be able to do the analysis for you. Health hazards, it's something that very crucial nowadays, and then we also saw that this is a big challenge. So with the usage of automation systems, as I said, we reduce the usage of chemicals. Manually, if we have to do the analysis, say with 50 ml of samples, here what we take is maybe less than 2 ml of sample for the analysis. So the wastage that you minimize is also drastically reduced. So there is, you don't have to worry about throwing away a lot of waste after the analysis, and also there is no exposure, since everything is instrument is going to do the analysis. There is no exposure to toxic chemicals to the reagent, especially when you have to analyze samples like cyanide and phenol. The user does not have to touch the chemicals on a very. They just have to prepare the reagents and keep, then the analysis is done by the system. So automation kind of reduces the exposure to the health hazards of the people drastically. Okay. So just wanted to give a perspective about the challenges that the laboratories face and the probable solutions that Scalar can offer. And also the other thing which I would like to add is for the monotonous job like pH conductivity, simple applications, we also have sample preparation technique through our SP2000 robotic analyzers. I think with this I have come to conclusion of my presentation. So I am open to questions.
Yes, thank you, Sai. There are a few questions in our Q&A section. The first one is like, how many parameters can be done using continuous flow analysis?
As I said, we can do about 16 parameters in a single system. Yeah, and we can do more sequentially as well.
Okay. Another question is that, can BOD, pH conductivity and turbidity can be automated together in one system in robotics analyzer?
It's yes, possibility is yes, because we have the flexibility in terms of automating multiple applications. We can also combine parameters like this BOD along with pH, and as I said, when you have a BOD application, we also do pH adjustment and measurement. So we can also add conductivity and turbidity to it. We also can add BOD and COD together, but you would like to understand more about the customer application before doing it. But to answer the question, yes, we can club 2-3 applications together.
Okay. Then another one, is there any specific chemicals required for continuous flow analyzer?
There is no specific chemicals as such required. Whatever customers are using in the lab, they like, for example, from Merck or Sigma Aldrich, whatever chemicals they are using for their manual analysis, the same chemicals can be used in our continuous flow analyzer. They don't have to specifically buy any new reagents. And they don't have to depend on Scalar for that. They can buy the chemical. So that's the beauty of the system. So if you have to depend on us, probably, the cost is going to go high. So here they can buy in bulk and keep, and then use less depending on the number of samples that they're going to analyze. They can prepare reagents only for much, use it. So by this, they also save a lot on the cost of reagents as well. So if you have to do it manually, as I said, if you are taking 50 ml of sample, equivalent amount of reagents also have to be taken. So here in continuous flow analyzer system, you're going to take, say, per parameter 0.5 ml is what probably would be required. So the requirement of reagent also drastically reduces. So the consumption reduces, number one, so which benefits in the cost as well. So they can save a lot on the cost of purchasing of these reagents.
Okay. Actually, another similar question, I think you answered already partially for this. Do you provide pre-prepared reagents? If not, what is the advantage and disadvantage of using pre-prepared reagents?
We don't, as I said, we don't use pre-prepared reagents. The reason is, one is, you can use the reagents that are available in the lab already, so which is easy and cost effective as well for the customers, because they can buy the reagents in bulk and then keep it, and then as and when they require, they can do it. If they're going to have a pre-prepared reagents and their concentrations are going to be different, so it may not probably help. Also, pre-prepared reagents come with a shelf life. For example, if you have to do silica application and you have a pre-prepared reagent, the shelf life of those reagents are very, very less. So it won't. So you have to buy and then immediately use it. So you don't have. So customers will not have that flexibility of analysis. So better is to keep it as powder and then you prepare and then use it, and then whenever you want you can do it. So actually I would say it's more of advantages of not having a pre-prepared reagents. And depending on the concentration, it comes very specifically for that particular customer.
Yeah. Okay. I hope he is clarified with that. Another question is, you have any application for food analysis?
Yeah, we do have applications, but we would like to understand a bit more on what is it they would like to do. As I said, if it is protein is what they are looking at, we have a ready-made solution like Primax SNC. Primax SN system can really help them to determine the proteins in their sample. If it is more, probably we would like to understand what is their requirement, and then we can definitely see what we can do. But we do have some applications for food-related applications as well.
Okay, thank you. And one more, probably, I don't know whether we have the answer for this. What is the detection limit for silica in deionized water and boiler and feed water?
1 ppb.
And can we do this with the scalar system?
Of course, we can do. We can go to a level of 1 ppb in boiler applications, where we have many installations, many refineries, or many industries and refineries are using our systems specifically for this application, because manually to do silica at that low level is very challenging, and so this can be done beautifully by automation system, especially scalar auto analyzer can handle it. We can do that.
Fine. Thank you. I think these are the only questions which I can see at the moment. But our contact details are also available in chat box, and you are free to contact us anytime. I can see one person raise his hand. There is no name. It's a Huawei mobile. I just unmute his mic. Sir, can you speak now?
Yeah.
I don't know whether his mic is unmuted, but just a second. Let me try again. No.
I see. No, I see. How about heavy metal analysis is some question which has come up in the Q&A.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
correct. I will read.
We would like to know what are the metal. Yeah.
How about heavy metal analysis, right?
Yeah. No, we don't do anything for, no, especially on food for heavy metals. Maybe if we can have a bit more of information on what is that they would want, maybe we can look into it. But in general, heavy metals, we don't do in, if you have a calorimetric calorimetric analysis, then yeah, we can look at it. We do cobalt and other kind in water, but we would like to have more information on what are the heavy metals that they are looking at and what levels, and then we can look it up.
And Sai, one more is that why do we need to buy robotic system for pH and conductivity, which can also be done manually with simple meters? What are the main benefits of automation buying scalar robotics?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Whoever has asked it. As I said, if you have to do this analysis by simple meters manually, the major challenges with regard to first of all, it's the analysis itself, because if you're going to have multiple samples to be analyzed, specifically for these kind of analysis, pH and AC, it's going to be a monotonous job. And for every sample, they have to measure and then note down the results, measure and note down the results, measure and note down the results for both pH and AC kind of application. Whereas when you have an automation for these kind of application, you just have to load the sample and then forget about the sample, and then you have the analysis being done. And as I said, everything comes under one umbrella. So you load your sample and then you load the data only once. You'll be able to have data of both pH and EC for the analysis, in the same run, and it's also been recorded. So there is no duplication of work which is happening, which reduces completely the manual, error. Because ultimately, finally, it's human beings who are going to do the analysis. At the end of the day, they are bound to get fatigued, and then they will, for example, if for one sample, instead of measuring it as 9.8 as pH, if they put it as 4.8 as pH by mistake, the entire the data goes completely wrong. It could affect the the data of the customer. So one of the major benefit is you'll be able to have all the data under one system, under one hood, and then the manual error is completely eliminated. Yeah.
Fine. I believe we are almost to the end of the session. So if anybody have any other question, please feel free to contact us through mail or phone with our contact, which we put it in our chat box, and most of us, you are aware of us. Like, thank you for joining this webinar session. Thank you, Sai, for being such a nice speaker, also for giving a lot of information for water and food analysis. We hope
Thank you
all
so
our
much.
attendees got some additional knowledge from this webinar.
Thank you so much for all those who have attended. Hope it was useful, and then please feel free to contact us. Please stay safe, and then take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, looking forward to see you in coming future. Thank you very much. Signing off.